Hey guys, Jim here from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and I love pinball. So today, we're going to take a look at Kirby's Pinball Land on the Game Boy. This is also the Yokoi Kids Spotlight for March 2021. Yokoi Kids, the Game Boy of the Month club that, once a month, highlights a different game from the classic Game Boy library. Links will be below to their page. Originally released in 1993, this was developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo. This would be HAL's second pinball offering on the Game Boy, after Revenge of the Gator, which I have previously looked at. At release, this was a Game Boy exclusive, though it did get ported to the 3DS Virtual Console in 2012. When it comes to graphics, there is a lot to like here. There are 3 different tables, each with different targets, minigames, boss fights, and images. For the most part, there isn't much to the backgrounds, but that's fine since we're talking about the original Game Boy. Kirby has different expressions, whether it happens during boss fights, after losing, or just going around a table in general. He's full of character. I think there could have been more added to the character sprites, but considering you have so many different tables and minigames, it could be forgiven. The sound is fantastic. The sound effects are mostly generic, but they're all ripped right from the Kirby franchise. The music's also been lifted from other Kirby games, so they're instantly recognizable. I'm no Kirby expert, so I couldn't tell you which, if anything, was new or a new composition, but the tracks that we do get are fun, catchy, and they're just so good. Basically what you would expect from early Kirby games. The control in this game is what you would expect at this point from a pinball game. Left flipper with the D-pad, right flipper with the A button, and the big improvement here from Revenge of the Gator is they added a nudge button. You can activate this by hitting up on the D-pad. You can also use the A button and the spring at the bottom of the table to launch yourself back up. It's a super simple yet super effective control scheme here, and the inputs work well with no noticeable lag. I do have to say though, you have to be pinpoint accurate with that launcher at the bottom, because the more you use it, the less effective it is, and you have to be dead on, and that's tough. When it comes to gameplay, there is a lot here. The main game consists of 3 tables taken straight from Kirby: Wispy Woods, RoccoW, and Poppy Bros. The tables contain 3 levels, with the top level giving you access to the boss fight. When you beat all 3 bosses, you get to fight King Dedede. Each table gives you access to different minigames, where you can build up all the lost ball multipliers, as well as warps to send you to the other tables. Also, there's multiple different targets from table to table, so the experience isn't the same as you make your way through the different stages. I mentioned this already, but you do have that chance to save yourself, and like I said, it's very tough, but man, if you master it, you can keep yourself alive for a decent amount of time. I also really like the fact that once you beat King Dedede, the table basically resets and you can try all over again. Also, you have a chance of getting an extra ball, so after you beat a boss, it'll be a different shaped object there with a letter, and you can spell extra and get an extra ball. Takes some work, takes some luck, but they give you the chance. I also love these adorable animations that come every time you hit 500,000 points, and it's different between 500,000, a million, 1,000,005, so on and so forth. Building up scores that high is pretty friggin' tough, don't get me wrong. If you can do it, you are paid off with just that nice little bit of happy-go-lucky character that you have to expect from Kirby. The physics of the ball aren't truly accurate to actual pinball, but that can be expected here since, you're playing as Kirby. There's also a floatiness to the ball that you won't get on a real table, but it doesn't take long at all to get used to. Maybe I'm a dum-dum, but I never found myself sucking in objects and shooting them off. Maybe that's something I could have played around with more, but yeah, weird that wasn't included, but I guess again it is a pinball game, so that would break it a little bit too much. Much like Revenge of the Gator, this is a pinball game that's easy to learn but hard to master. Off the bat, the game is way more forgiving than Gator, as keeping your ball alive and getting to the top tables and boss fights is so much easier. Staying up long enough at the boss fights can be tough, and you'll be constantly frustrated as you finally get up to a boss fight, but you get thrown right back to the regular table. And while it can be frustrating, it just never feels unfair. So the fact that you have so many targets and boss fights, things you can do that you can't in regular pinball, and all the things that make me obviously love video pinball, it's all on display here. When it comes to originality, I'll give it points for being able to go between tables, fight bosses, and for the types of minigames you have here. When it comes to replayability, it comes down to the usual score chasing, with the added bonus of trying to be good enough to beat King Dedede. It is possible to have the top score without beating the game, but this is the type where you just want to play long enough that you get to that point as well. When it comes to beer, I'm going to pair this with Kirby's Kolsch by the Muskoka Brewery. I mean, it says Kirby, so what more do you need? On top of that, Kolsch's are typically easy drinking beers, which comes through with the peach hints and the 4.6% alcohol by volume of this brew. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be available anymore, so good luck getting your hands on one. Any Kolsch will do, and as you'll want something that won't get you too drunk or too distracted as you sit and enjoy this title. Overall though, this is a fantastic game of video pinball. I love all the different targets, I love the overall variety, and I love just a package. It's just such a full package. I love the familiar music. I love how it has a fair difficulty curve that just rewards constant play and skill progression. There really is no reason to not have this game as part of your Game Boy collection, especially if you're a fan of pinball games. Even better, this game is still relatively cheap, and you can get it card only between $10 and $15. Just play it any way that you can. And that'll do it for today. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and comment below, let me know if you've ever played this, if you love it, or if you're gonna go track it down after watching this video. Please check the links to our other video game reviews, pinball reviews, and we are the home of the Power Hour podcast, which is also on iTunes and Spotify. Until next time, guys, cheers.